a couple of props to look at that won't necessarily figure prominently in my discussion today. Although I guess it's not really a discussion, it's more of a monologue. It is Wednesday at 11 p.m. I am still in the throes of whatever illness has been gripping me for the last couple of weeks. I had an adverse reaction to a couple of the medicines that were prescribed for me. I went back to the doctor today and rather crankily got enough medicine, antibiotics, and some other things to carry my sick hiney back to the U.S. And through the end of my sinusitis, which became tonsillitis, which was moving toward laryngitis and bronchitis. But I will not be returning to the same doctor. He was, as I had said, one of the most expensive doctors I've gone to in Korea. He had pretty horrible bedside manner. Today, because I claimed to have laryngitis, this time he grabbed my tongue with, he used a piece of gauze to grab my tongue between his thumb and forefinger and then rammed another endoscope down my throat to look at my larynx. It was quite uncomfortable. I gagged and almost vomited around the endoscope and just really had a bad day with him. So after he was finished abusing me, I verbally abused him a bit. I'm not sure what made me the most angry, the fact that I went to this doctor to get some help and ended up spending more time sick as a result of his quote-unquote help, or the fact that he was at first not going to prescribe me any medicine, saying that I no longer needed it, but when I protested and explained to him why he was an idiot and why I did need it, he readily agreed and asked me how long I want a prescription for. If he's going to cave immediately to whatever it is that I say, then he's not doing his job as a doctor. I mean, if there's a reason I should not have the medication, then he should not prescribe the medication. He shouldn't say no and then when I throw a hissy fit say yes. If there's an actual valid reason that I shouldn't have had it, he should have been able to explain it to me. So, cranky me. It is Wednesday night, as I said. Tomorrow is my last day of work before I return to the U.S. for my vacation. I've been very busy this week, and as I've mentioned already, I've been sick, so I have not posted anything in the last couple of days. I've been coming home and going right to bed. And I'm actually going to post this and then probably go right to bed. My house is mostly clean. I'm mostly prepared. I've finished the majority of my school duties. I have a luncheon to go to. I have to go to the bank tomorrow, and then of course tomorrow night after work I need to pack my suitcases. But then it's back to the U.S. For 3 weeks. I'll be staying at my brother's house in Monroe, Michigan, which is fairly close to Detroit. It's about halfway between Detroit and Toledo on I-75. So yes, I'm looking forward to seeing my brother and sister-in-law, niece and nephew, and my father and my grandfather, and of course my childhood friend Chris. So yes, I'll be back in Michigan. One of the most beautiful things today, even though I had a cranky, nasty day, one of the most beautiful things today was one of my middle school students bought me a candy bar, a big chocolate candy bar, because since I've been sick the last 2 weeks, I haven't been able to eat very much. I haven't been able to keep stuff down, and I actually have lost a lot of weight as a result of it. I think I've dropped 10 or 12 pounds in the last 10 days. And so she was actually a little concerned. She said, "You're becoming so thin so quickly," and so she brought me a candy bar, bought me some chocolate. So that was a very sweet gesture, literally and figuratively. Just a level of concern that I don't, well, it's a level of concern that I think is very sincere, and it really touches me deeply. A couple of things that are sitting in front of you. I found a glass teapot that I have in my cupboard here. It is just a little cheapy one. with wire mesh and a little plastic top here. So it's not especially nice, but I don't drink tea. It was purchased for someone else who ended up not using it. And then I have Scott's Original Miscellany, which is a book of miscellany, and then of course my censorship bookmark. I think another of the advantages of being ill the way I am, one of them of course is losing so much weight so quickly. It's funny, my Korean co-workers are saying, "Oh, you look so thin, you look so handsome, you look like a movie star." I'm compared to Brendan Fraser very often. It doesn't mean that I actually look like Brendan Fraser. I think it would be something similar to pretty much any Asian woman being compared to Lucy Liu, or what is it, Sandra Oh, whatever her name is. I think it's Sandra Oh, who incidentally by Korean standards is considered a very, very ugly woman. So when Americans say, "Oh, Sandra Oh, she's so pretty," the Koreans get really upset because it's like, no, she's the ugliest Korean woman there is, and Korean men are prettier than she is, and actually there are Korean men that are prettier than she is. But the other advantage of being sick like this is I like that my voice has gotten much deeper and more basso profundo. I kind of wish that my voice would always stay at this level, because I think it's sort of not necessarily a smokier voice, but more dark chocolate than the milk chocolate that I have other times. Actually, I think I have more of a milk chocolate with crispy rice kind of a voice most of the time, and this might be more of a dark chocolate might be more of a dark chocolate with caramel is what I'd like to think. So I'm going to enjoy my smooth, mellow bass tones while I've got laryngitis and the thickening of the vocal cords, and I'm going to enjoy my early evening of sleep. As I said, I'm going to turn in as soon as I post this, as soon as it's finished posting. I'm thinking of you. Congratulations yet again on your graduation. I'm just very proud of you, and am in awe of how quickly time passes and how things change so much. It feels like it doesn't feel like that long ago when I was tucking you into your crib and trying to read you stories and having you read me stories, and now you're a college student. Oh my goodness. One of the things I used to refer to very often is Mae West. Mae West is one of my favorite actresses, more for her attitude than for her actual acting. But when I taught at the alternative high school in Michigan, when people would say, "Goodness," I would respond with Mae West's line, in reference to the diamonds, "Goodness, what beautiful diamonds." And then Mae West would say, "Goodness had nothing to do with it, honey." And so when somebody would say "goodness" around me, I would say, "Goodness had nothing to do with it, honey." And coincidentally, there was a student who very often exclaimed "goodness," and so I said "goodness had nothing to do with it, honey" often enough that she actually picked up and made it part of her thing that she would respond to other people when they said "goodness" with the same line. So word language is a virus, infecting others with the way I say things and the way I my own little twisted jokes and twisted worldview. So I'm thinking of you, Cheyenne. Have a wonderful day, a wonderful week, a wonderful summer. I love you, and what do you think of my deeper voice?